I'm Jason Little, and this is 10 minutes off the top of my head. I want to continue with the last video where the last video left off, talking about cognitive dissonance. I had said in the beginning of that video that Christians don't really believe the whole Bible. We believe parts of it, we believe certain segments of it, we believe scriptures, we believe certain history in the Bible, but we don't really believe the whole Bible. The Bible is the foundation for all of our faith. It is the foundation. It is the guidebook. It is the ultimate authority in all matters of faith and practice. Why don't we believe it? I brought up to you perhaps a term that you've heard before, perhaps a term you have not, but I brought up to you the word cognitive dissonance. And hopefully I illustrated it to you when I told you that Easter has nothing to do with Jesus Christ. Neither does Christmas. What? You can't say that. I've already been Christmas shopping for 2017. It has nothing to do with Jesus Christ. If we look at the Bible and we try to figure out when Jesus was born, we know that his mother became pregnant, that Jesus' mother, that Mary became pregnant with Jesus in the 6th month of the pregnancy of Elizabeth with John the Baptist. We know this, and we can pinpoint roundabout when John the Baptist was born. And if we can pinpoint when John the Baptist was born, we can pinpoint roundabout when Jesus was born. And when you go back and you look at it, and I'm not going to go through all of it right now, but it has to do with Nathaniel and Abijah and when he served in the temple and when. Zechariah, not Nathaniel. Zechariah and Abijah and the term of Abijah and all this kind of stuff. Go look it up. Jesus was born in September or October, period. He was not born in December at all. Didn't happen, and that's not why we celebrate Christmas at all. We celebrate Christmas because way back when, in 336 AD, is when the tradition began to celebrate Christmas around the 25th of December. The 25th of December is the resurrection of the sun. I'm not going to go into it all. Please go look it up. Do yourself a favor. Do your own research. Start your own Bible study. Stop listening to some crusty old theologian who has 15 degrees behind his name, who's spent his entire life in college and has never really graduated sufficient enough to satisfy his own lust for ego. That's the fact. These guys that are running around that have all kinds of degrees and have all kinds of doctorates are guys that are huge egomaniacs. They want to be doctor. Do your own study. You're every bit as smart as those guys. And besides that, those guys are just regurgitating what some other egomaniac before him had come to believe, because some egomaniac before him came to believe this, because some egomaniac before him came to believe it because of whatever. Do your own research. The internet is full of almost any reference book you want to get your hand on. You can read all those egomaniacs if you want to, most of them for free, and they don't make any sense with what we read in the pages of the Bible. The greatest teacher in the history of the existence of the earth is the Holy Spirit. And if you're a born-again believer, you have the Holy Spirit abiding in you. Start to listen to Him. Start to ask Him questions. Start to ask God to give you wisdom on these things and see if they're true, because we're suffering in this day and age from cognitive dissonance. So much so that we're creating things now to explain it. Perhaps you've heard the term the Mandela Effect. Oh, the Mandela Effect is changing things in our reality. You see, there was a man named Nelson Mandela, and many people have a memory of him dying back in the 1980s. Everybody knows that Mandela died back in the 1980s. Well, the truth of the matter is that I believe Mandela died in 2014. He became the president of South Africa, and he helped to do away with apartheid, and he actually turned out to be a pretty decent guy after having a very rough start as a rabble-rousing communist. I'm not here to talk about Mandela, but I do want to talk about the Mandela Effect. Many people today are There's TV shows on it. There's radio shows on it. There's all kinds of stuff on YouTube about the Mandela Effect. I'm telling you right now, the Mandela Effect is in some way, I believe, an answer to cognitive dissonance. Let me give you an example. In the movie The Empire Strikes Back, Darth Vader confronts Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker's hand has been chopped clean off. And I don't remember if it was his left or his right. I believe it was his left. Chopped off. Boom. And he's hanging on to this thing out over this giant hole that he's about to fall into. And he's having a discussion with Darth Vader. And he says, you killed, and Luke Skywalker says, Darth Vader, you killed my father. And Darth Vader said, Luke, I am your father. Right? Wrong. He said, I am your father. He didn't say, Luke, I am your father. He said, I am your father. Now, think about this. In 1981, The Empire Strikes Back came out. Think about it. 36 years ago. 36 years ago. In those intervening 36 years, this blockbuster mega movie, The Empire Strikes Back, has had a profound effect on our culture. There have been many movies that have imitated that very scene in that movie. One of those movies was Tommy Boy, starring Chris Farley, one of my favorite actors. Unfortunately, he's dead from drugs. Sad guy. Anyway, Chris Farley was sitting at a desk at his father's business in the movie Tommy Boy, and he had a job there at his father's business after he graduated from college, and he had a metal fan on his desk, and he was saying into the fan, Luke, I am your father, so that it would sound like Darth Vader. Is perhaps that where we got the idea that originally Darth Vader said, Luke, I am your father, and not from the movie in which it was recorded in 1981, in which he said, I am your father? I know it's a silly example, but every Mandela Effect example is silly just like that for the most part. But there's this other little section of the Mandela Effect nonsense that's going on that's telling us that the Bible itself has been changed. It's so preposterous. Do you think that God, who says that he esteems his word above his name, is going to allow his Bible to be changed? If so, then he's not God. I'm sorry, he's just not. If he can't preserve his word like he promised that he would, then he is not God. You are going to hear this increasingly, that the Bible has been changed, especially the King James Bible. I don't know how the Mandela Effect is specifically attacking the King James Bible only, but it is, because the Mandela Effect is nonsense. It's an answer to cognitive dissonance. Well, I remember it being this way, but you're telling me it's this way. I can't accept that it's really this way. Something must have changed. No, it didn't change. You just don't remember it the way that it really happened. It's amazing to me that when you look into the Mandela Effect, that you see over and over and over again movie quotes being changed. Who cares about a movie quote? Who cares? Some people thought that Mandela died in the 1980s. They can't tell you when, but they remember seeing his funeral on TV. Come on, man. History is history. A lot of it now is recorded. I know that there's manipulation of history and things get told a different way than what they really happen, but that's not the Mandela Effect that's created by the CERN Large Hadron Collider in CERN, Switzerland. It's not happening. You are daft if you think that it is. If you don't know what daft means, go look it up before the Mandela Effect changes the meaning of the word. It means crazy, by the way. It's not happening. But yet it's creeping into an area where it does matter, because movies don't matter, but it is creeping into an area that does matter, the Bible. And they're saying, well, it's changed. It's changed. The King James Bible's changed. It's not changed. I saw a video the other day of a man sitting on a stage, and he is sitting there choked up all about the King James Bible's being changed. And he made this statement, and this is where it's a problem. He said, you people had better listen closely to what I say, and you had better follow me, because I know what the Bible said, and I know what it doesn't say anymore. Are you kidding me? You're a cult leader, dude. You are a cult leader. You're telling me to follow you because you remember, because now it's been changed by the Mandela Effect from CERN, Large Hadron Collider. Give me a break. Cognitive dissonance. Find out about it. Read about it. Get the definition. Learn. Understand. We're in a battle, folks. We're in a battle for the hearts and minds of the people of the world. And the battle is heating up. And the devil is a liar and the father of it. And that's why Christians have a hard time believing what the Bible really says. More on the next video. God bless you. See you on the next one.